Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a PvT here on Destination between Mio and Lefthand. This is a Ghost of Gamers replay, so it's going to be amazing in some way. I haven't watched this yet, but I trust the Ghost of Gamers replay pack. Top side of Destination is the Teal Protoss player Mio. And in the bottom side of Destination is the Blue Terran player, Lefthand. APMs are insane right now, you guys. 500 for Lefthand, 460, 470 for Mio. These guys are playing fast and playing hard right now. Really just spamming keys at the moment, but it shows they are definitely capable of playing fast when it comes down to it. And if you're in this level of StarCraft game that somebody's going to put you in a replay pack and have an amazing match, then you're going to have some kind of abilities here. Now, a lot of these games in the Ghost of Gamers replay pack are not from players that I recognize, and maybe you probably don't either, but they are still, I don't know, like what, Code A level replays? I'm just trying to figure out Code S level replays. Trying to decide exactly how to label these, because in StarCraft 2 would be GM, I believe is the appropriate label for this level of StarCraft, but you don't have GM in Brood War, and as a result, I know that there's the whole, you know, S is the top tier, A is the next one, B, C, etc., etc. A lot of anime actually uses the same ranking system. I assume it's just a Japanese, Korean-style, Southeast Asian thing. But anywho, these players are very good at StarCraft. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in this PvT. There are a lot of options. We could see scouts, man. We could see scouts used to good effect somehow, some way. And it would blow my mind. I think it would blow yours too. But probe scouting here is Mio sneaking on up and saying, ah, yes, you're building a barracks, I see. No proxies at all, forcing another SCV to come over and help with it because, ow, 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 it hurts. It hurts to get zapped with that little zapper thing that the probe has. Does 5 damage per shot. It sure does, but another SCV comes over to help his buddy out, no big deal. So now we're just a scouting probe, not really a harassing probe any longer. Gateway coming up, no big deal, into the cybernetics core. And all is pretty much the same here for the Protoss player, which indicates he's not going the one gateway expand or a Forge Fast expand. He's definitely going to try to get into that tech a little bit faster before he takes his expansion. And same story here too, honestly. Out of Lefthand, he's not going for a quick expansion after the barracks either, based on the fact that he's continuing to SCV up here, continuing to make Marines. He's going to scout with an SCV of his own. Just make sure nothing too crazy is happening. Dang, Pylon comes down over here. Now, this can't be for cannons because there's not a forge on the other side of the map, but it's just enough to kind of throw the Terran player off a little bit. Now, I've been here before, Protoss players throwing up pylons inside my base, trying to make me think it's a cannon rush, but I have drone scouted, and I know there's not a forge on the other side of the map, but I don't worry about it. Let that thing finish, I say, don't worry about it. It is a little bit annoying that it's here in the middle of this mineral line. I'm really surprised he got it down with all the SCVs running back and forth, but anyway, Marine gonna try to shoot that thing down. Probe's still alive, somehow, some way. I guess it is just very fast, is the thing here, faster than the Marine anyway. SCV comes in and says, I don't really see anything happening. Is that just immediate +1 air weapons? By golly, it is. Oh. He's getting +1 air weapons without a Stargate. This, I would die if it was a scout opening here out of Mio. I don't know, does it work against Terran at all? Especially if they're opening bio like this? There's a bunch of Marines out. This isn't going right into mech. That's the thing. If your opponent goes right into mech and all they have are vultures and tanks, then suddenly a bunch of scouts flying over are really problematic. He's still... Okay, now he's going for a Citadel of a... Did he cancel that +1 air weapons? He did. He canceled +1 air weapons. He's going for a Citadel of a Dune, now that the SCV has left. I guess maybe what he was trying to make the Terran player think was that that was Singularity Charge on the upgrade, but no, it definitely was not Singularity Charge. That was +1 air. Not that you can tell from the outside. You just see something is upgrading. So SCV goes down after 8 hits or whatever it is. It's a lot of hits to kill an SCV if you're a Dragoon. Siege mode on the way, tanks on the way, and a starport coming up here too from the Terran player. So nobody's expanded yet. Everybody's just playing very cautiously. Really worried about potential one-base attacks coming from the other player, and as a result, nobody feels safe to expand. It's kind of like the Cold War a little bit between America and Russia all through the 80s. Was it late 70s into the 80s? Anyway, didn't make it to the 90s, I know that much, as I was alive during that time. Templar Archives. Dang, you were teching up super fast. Look at this. Templar Archives on the way from Mio. And there's the expansion. Okay, so about a 5-minute expand from the Protoss player. Our Terran player, again, just looks like he's meching it normally. He's got Siege. He is expecting some Dragoons to show up, and I mean, that's a fair expectation. There are a certain number of Dragoons out on the field, but definitely not the focus here. Getting a dropship to, ooh, Dark Templar. Dark Templar are the play here today. No, this can't be a mind control, can it? Could this be our Protoss player stealing an SCV and making a Terran army to fight against the Terran army? We've seen it before. We've seen it before on the channel. It was Morthada versus Dark Shadow. I remember those names. For some reason, I don't remember much about the games that I cast sometimes, but Morthada versus Dark Shadow is one of those that it would happen. We saw the mind control. We saw the SCV turn and fight for ire and start building stuff, and suddenly there was a tank line that was fighting the other tank line. It was crazy. But no, just regular old DTs moving out. We're not changing these guys into Dark Templar, or at least not quite yet. Tanks setting up here. Can you, oh my gosh, you can't, can you sneak up here? I'm trying to remember this map. Are there areas you can tank and hit this? I guess here, right? I guess that would be it. Tank comes down, and look at these probes getting pulled right now, too. Oh, the DTs are on the other side of the map. Oh, there are some defensive DTs here, though. So goodbye, tank. You're out. This tank, ow, is getting some stuff done. He's got 3 kills already. Look at this conga line of probes just getting rocked. Yeah, 8 kills right there. DT showing up on the other side of the map. Whack, whack. It was a DT rush here. How many scans? Oh my gosh, no scans available. Oh no, there's not a ComSat station. There's not an academy. He skipped detection. This is why you don't skip detection, Terran players. This can happen to you, and Zerg players, actually, and Protoss players. Everybody can fall prey to the Dark Templar rush. Remember the first time it happened to me? It's a bad feeling, man. You're just, as a Zerg player, you're just droning up, and don't worry about it. And DTs show up, and you don't have any spores. You don't have any detection whatsoever nearby, and it's bad. I mean, I guess it's easier for Zerg, just because, again, Overlords are detectors, but Dark Templar not attacking anything. Hey, guys! Attack something. There we go. Where's the what? Oh, what? Oh, that missile turret is detection. This missile turret is detection. The saving grace for Lefthand is he had an engineering base, so he's building missile turrets. This tank goes down with, I want to say, at least 10 or 11 kills there. Nicely done. These Dark Templar are rocking it. 4 kills, 7 kills. They're going to supply block the Terran. They're trying, but they can't yet. And yeah, they're just happy to keep the Terran player on one base right now. So DT rush, not bad at all. Out of the Protoss Mio here. And he lost some probes. He definitely did. That little tank setup back here was problematic, but in the end, I think he's definitely ahead at this stage of the game. The expansion is complete for Lefthand. Man, these DTs. Look at them just staying out of range of detection. Little dude in the missile turret's like, hey guys, I hear DTs around, but I can't see anything from here. And I can't move either, so sorry about that. Just gonna have to live with it, I guess. But ComSat, still not making a ComSat station. You know how useful that would be, right? I think it'd be kind of incredible. DT trying to find an area in which to attack. Academy finally coming up. And that's an angle. Wow, that's actually out of range of the missile turret and the detection there. And still able to get that command center. That's not bad stuff. Another drop happening here from the Terran player. Two tanks and a dropship. Double ComSat station under construction, by the way. Ooh, trying to get that splash damage to take out the DT. Fired on his own SCV and killed it to try to kill the Dark Templar and failed, unfortunately. Thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. SCV, but no. Actually trying to mine to get back here so we can defend against this annoying setup. There was a Dark Templar back here at one point. I don't know where he went exactly, but yeah, our one-basing Terran cannot be doing very well for himself. As it turns out, oh, they did get the minerals down, and now our tank is out. Tank ends up with 1 kill, and he's crushed. This dropship tries to wander into the main base. Dropship goes down. Tank goes down. 3 Dragoons is just too many. They have an upgrade? They do not. No forge quite yet. Robotics facility finishing up, and that does get scouted by the Terran player there, so he knows that's it. Oh, mind control. Mind control is on the way. Scans are available for the first time for Lefthand, and the DT made the critical mistake of trying to kill the siege tanks after he was scanned. Ooh, this guy is over here. All right, this could be another one. This could be another example what we're seeing here. Both players still over 200 APM, still fighting pretty hard on their keyboards. A lot of factories on the way. I mean, it's mech. What else is it going to be here for a Terran player versus a Protoss? Honestly, what makes PvT interesting is more about what the Protoss does to deal with it, in my opinion. But yeah, still no third base from the Protoss. I mean, he's pretty healthy on probe count here. Natural base has landed. Huge manual transfer down here. A ton of SCVs come down to try to saturate that natural base. And where? No, he didn't get it. Did he? No. Too many shields on the Dark Archon for him to have mind controlled anything. Oh, hang on. Hang on. This scouting SCV. Yeah. This SCV was here to deny the third base, or scout the third base, and he belongs to Ire now. Oh my gosh, he got it. He ended up getting it there. This feels a little bit more organic than the previous time we saw this happen, but yes. This is it. This was it. Oh, absolutely amazing, amazing stuff here. Second time on the channel. Ghost of Gamers replay pack. Making it happen. See how all the shields come off that Dark Archon when he makes that spell? When he mind controls. Vulture's going to come in. He's not going to see this. I like this. I like that Mio's like blocking it off. He's like, you know what? You're not getting in here to see what's going on because there's a command center here. The scan might reveal what's going on, though. Yeah, this is a good push out. This is a great push out from Lefthand. He's got a ton of tanks. And really, there's only Dragoons here and maybe some Dark Templar for the Protoss. Doesn't seem like it's enough to hold. I mean, this could turn into a really, really bad situation for Mio extremely quickly. Still no upgrades because, again, I don't think he has a forge. Gateways. Oh, he does have a forge. He's just using it for nothing at this stage. No cannons, no upgrades. Big old probe transfer. Does it get spotted is the question. If it does get spotted, that's actually pretty good because it will make the Terran player think that there's a Nexus over there, but there's not. Trying to land Dark Templars on this army, and it kind of works, but then there's the scan and the Vultures and the DTs get wiped out. Yeah, you cannot engage here. Now, this is the fun thing. Probes actually harvesting and returning to command center there. Absolutely ridiculous stuff. And here comes, the Vultures. The Vultures see what's going on here. This is not my command center. What is going on? This is what I'm talking about. Terran player has the better army composition and the bigger army composition here, too. Yeah, I mean, it might just be better to use the command center to build SCVs and start building tech structures here for Terran. Boy, I mean, this is as mechy a push as we're going to see in the TVP matchup. These getting shots off on the Dragoons. There's a DT in the mix. Or there was a DT in the mix. He gets wiped out with the scan there as well. Spider-Mine does get a shot off on this Dark Templar. Dark Templar does whack an SCV building a missile turret, so that was a minor victory there, too. But yeah, I think you just kind of wander up with your tanks, man. Keep producing them. Keep bringing them to the front. And I think you can just kind of siege up on this. I don't know. You want to push with these Dragoons, man. There are Spider Mines to deal with your Zealots. Ton of Vultures here, too. This is a terrible position for the Protoss player to be in. He's not doing anything with this command center. He's building SCVs fine, but does that actually show up as a probe on the production tab? Oh, no, it shows up as an SCV. All right, good. Terran SCV. Yes, thank you for the clarification. It's a Terran SCV and not, you know, another one. But tanks setting up Vultures. Here, too. Still no detection. Honestly, a science vessel would probably be worth its weight in gold at this stage of the game for the Terran, just because these DTs keep wandering in and forcing him to use scans to kill them. But tanks keep getting wiped out. The tank count is not nearly as high as it could otherwise be. Yeah, there's your barracks. All right, so setup number 2 here for Mio is well underway. If he can survive long enough is the problem. I mean, third base is under construction now for Lefthand. And forced to take a third base up here right now is Mio. It's a mineral-only base. Usually it's only for emergencies, but Okay, Dark Templar, or Dark Archon rather, in a lot of trouble right now. I mean, mind controls a tank and it immediately gets wiped out, and then the Dark Archon dies. That was a little problematic, as it turns out, but Factory on the way now, and yeah, I mean, if you can keep the Protoss player to 2 bases worth of gas, especially, you're going to be just fine. He seems to be totally happy with his contain, and, well, I guess he did want to come around this backside and get rid of the 3rd base, but is there enough? The tanks are actually firing quite nicely on the Dragoons, but the Zealots are on top of the tanks, and the tanks get left behind because they are in siege mode. Drop comes in and sees exactly what's going on, and the answer is there is a Teal factory here. Probes are forced to come in and try to fight this tank. That's such a horrible feeling. They get it, which is nice, so they wipe out the attack. So he's turning this, I mean, eventually might be able to turn this into a TVT. Man, that Zealot actually getting some work done here, although the SCV is going to kill him by stabbing him in the back. Minor victory. Vulture drop in here, right inside Teal Terranville. Going after a bunch of these probes, throwing down spider mines, killing enemy SCVs. He knows. He knows about this, and he's kind of trying to shut it down. I don't know if it's going to work out for him or not. Mio's like, enough is enough. I'm heading down. I'm going to wipe out your 3rd base. So it's going to be 2 base to 2.5 base with my little mineral-only setup here. SCVs are trying to get out, but I think they're blocked. Or they're trying to fight. Actually, not bad fighters against Dragoons, as it turns out. SCVs aren't. Tanks setting up, Dragoons getting out of the range of the tanks. Zealots coming in from the top to wipe the tanks off the face of the map. And killing a ton of these SCVs here, too. SCV massacre on these Zealots. They still don't have any upgrades, mind you. But the first tanks are now under production for Mio, our Protoss player. So Fort Ire is for real right now. If these guys had upgrades, they'd have done a little bit more damage here on this command center. They might be able to get it down to burning anyway, though. Let's see if they get it with that tank setup, though. Oh, there we go. It's actually in burning, but SCVs are repairing, so that's not going to be great. As it turns out, this blue is exactly the same color of blue as Lefthand here, this Rhinodon. It's very annoying. Vultures cruising on in to Mio's 3rd base. All these probes are going to die unless they can run, and they're not running exceptionally well. So, yeah, all of them get killed before they can actually get out of there. That's some brutal stuff for sure. Trying to clear out some of the spider mines in front of his base with the Dragoons. And actually going for a Wraith right now, which, maybe he knows how TVT works. Maybe he knows how eventually it turns into a big Wraith Ball versus Wraith Ball style thing. I haven't cast a TVT in a while, but it does kind of seem like they all turn into the same shenanigans, doesn't it? Kind of does. Vultures are very interested in killing this Nexus all by their lonesome, which seems difficult, but Carol boosters coming in for Lefthand. He has no indication that there are carriers coming. Maybe he's guessing, or maybe he just saw the starport and assumes there's going to be something he needs to be able to shoot that is in the sky. Yeah, look at this. They took all of the shields off this Nexus, and they're actually doing some hull damage to it. Pretty fantastic stuff right about there. Dropship once again showing up here. Tanks, can they wipe out the Teal Terran influence, the evil mind-controlled aspect of the Protoss army? It doesn't seem like he is. This Wraith is taking forever to build. He doesn't have another one, does he? I don't know that he does. Look at the defensive tank. Oh, he's out, though. He took a tank fire shot, and he's out there now, too. Tank out. Once again, Mio is doing all that he can to keep his Terran influence alive. Wraith shows up. Cannons in production. Is he finally cannoning up this 3rd base? He absolutely is. 3rd base for Lefthand is up and running. It's 102 to 86 supply in favor of the Protoss. Man, look at the range on that tank when he's got vision. That was huge. Look at at this. It's like the whole screen, and the screen is pretty far zoomed out. I mean, you can do this, obviously, but yeah, Destination's a fun one to do this for because you can get all the way to the edges and just kind of like scroll up with it. You can see everything that's going on. You never miss a drop again. Let's stay at this high level for a second. I mean, honestly, not much is going on otherwise. Just a bit of an attack along this right side. Never mind. Tanks and vultures are showing up to try to deal with this. And they are forcing the defensive dragoons back. Tanks setting up. There we go. That's a great place to siege up. These cannons are not going to have a good time with that. But defending dragoons are not going to have fun with that. There are, again, Goliaths out, recognizing, I guess, the presence of Wraiths. Wraiths might be a problem here. He's actually floating his command center over here to take it as like a weird third base. But yeah, the Gateway Army does show up, and they're going to wipe this out. At what cost is always the question. The Wraith here to assist and just getting smacked in the face by a missile turret a couple times before anything else happens there. Vultures managed to sneak into the natural base and kill a ton of probes here too. Yeah, this is not good. This is really, really bad news for this probe line. These vulture attacks have been way too effective for Mio. He's just not pulling probes fast enough. He's not responding quickly enough. He doesn't have defensive cannons up in places where he should, and the vultures just finding the vulnerabilities and absolutely exploiting them hardcore. So, I mean, probe count does not seem all that healthy. Oh, Wraith gets wiped out by enemy Goliath. Once again, not a TVT. If you heard me say that, though, you might be confused. Man, the army is coming up. I mean, this is some pretty consistent pressure out of Lefthand. He keeps bringing up tanks, bringing up vultures. He sieges up, and Mio's like, you know what? I don't want to engage with that. Thank you very much. I'm going to pull back to my own defensive siege tanks. And you know what? They can get some damage done here. They can wipe out spider mines and get rid of vultures. So he landed. He's landed the command center. Now the probes are going to return to that guy. Always fun. I don't think that was something that Morthada did in the previous time we saw this on the channel. He just didn't bother with it. I'm pretty sure. No, maybe he did. Maybe he did actually have probes returning to command centers. Terran building a fourth base along the left side. Third base happily up and running. The command center was not repaired all the way, so it is definitely on fire. But science facility finally coming up. No upgrades for the Protoss at all. And +1 attack has completed for the mech. Are you working on anything additional there? No, definitely not. Just kind of happy with his +1. He has an advantage over the Protoss for sure, but the problem is the Protoss is dealing with 2 separate 200 supply army caps. And as a result, he can have a much bigger army than Lefthand is able to get here if Mio does this correctly. And he's working on a lot of Protoss units. He's going to run into the cap of 200 for the Protoss. But the Terran's working on another cap, which we can't see. Like, the replay interface doesn't account for this at all. But is this another drop? Another vulture drop. Trying to get in here to the main base. The probes get pulled earlier than the attack comes this time, which is an improvement for Mio. Dropship does get picked out of the sky. It helps. It was already severely bruised, but more Wraiths in production for Mio. Nothing but tanks and vultures right now for Lefthand, and BSD, Blue Screen of Death, is continuing to observe this match. All right, tanks cruising around, continuing to build zealots, continuing to get, vehicle weapons, level 2 getting started now for the Terran player 2. Got some Archons in the mix right now, working on ghost cloaking. I'm liking that. I'm liking getting ghosts against Protoss. Kind of feel like Lefthand needs to push this. The longer this game goes on, the worse it is for him. The more he's going to have to deal with a army that is 400 supply in total. I mean, sure, a lot of those are going to be workers, but still, it's going to be more than he's able and capable of matching with. Doesn't mean that Mio can just walk into a tank line and he'll be fine. I mean, tank lines will handle an army twice their size, no problem, especially if they have upgrades and especially if you're dumb about it. So, can't be stupid. Still has to be smart about this. But, man, is he setting up to take another base over here, too? Yeah. Lefthand, after not really expanding for some time, is doing a much better job of it in the last couple of minutes here, killing observers or wraith flying around past this Bengalas dual-colored, like, panther-tiger thing, which really doesn't make a whole lot of sense as far as nature is concerned, but... EMP coming in from Lefthand. Yeah, you want that. You want that. It drops all of the shields off of the Protoss army. Look at this tank count that Mio has set up, though. He's doing all right. He's going for a Stargate here, too. Passing our little dude here, our Ursa Dawn, little flat face, polar bear looking thing. And we might actually end up seeing every base on the map taken if we set up a Nexus on this left side, as the bottom left-hand base is being taken by Command Center right now. I mean, technically there's not a base over here at the 3 o'clock, but Lefthand wants to. He's got an SCV ready to go. He has the resources for it, too. He's just choosing not to at this very particular point in time. Tanks, they have their own upgrades you need to build. Need to build an armory for that, which Mio probably is aware of it, just not bothering at the moment. And look at this. Tank setting up to defend the Nexus coming up the 9 o'clock position. Tank count on the high ground is going to be hard for Lefthand to break that. I'm liking it. Again, I kind of feel like this matchup is a little bit more competitive than the one we saw with Morthada versus Dark Shadow. Both players seem to be pretty even in total skill here. It's working out. Mio just kind of hanging out with his army. Again, it's... There it is. Oh, we can see now. 258 available supply based on these supply depots and the command centers that exist for the Terran side of things. Probably should have built a command center over here just for the additional supply, but that's okay. That is totally just fine. Arbiter Tribunal just about to finish warping in now. Is that a second one, or is that just the one? That's just the one. I missed the warping in animation. And yeah, Wraith being used for scouting purposes here. So both players just really trying to get maxed out. Again, Mio can do more of it than the Terran player can. He's got a ton of vultures and tanks. Any Goliaths is the question of the day. I'm not sure that he has any of those. Nexus warping on in. Let's see if any probes decide to make it on over there, or SCVs. Doing a good job. We've got an idle probe here inside the main base, but otherwise, there we go. There's a bit of a probe SCV transfer. Coming over to that newly set up base. Again, protected by tanks, which absolutely hilarious, as it turns out. Tanks that are being cloaked by arbiters, kind of insanely good. So yeah, in general, you just want to prevent this from happening. If you're a Terran player, if you're a Zerg player, prevent the Protoss from making this happen, because the army is only going to get bigger here. 225 supply to 189. With 266 available. And we can't, again, this is separated out. We can't see that in the replay interface, unfortunately, but that is definitely the case. Yeah, Mio's kind of entrenched himself. He's got tanks protecting his bases. Lefthand is doing the same thing. Got tanks protecting his bases. Recall coming in now. Ocular implants on the way, allowing Ghost to see further. I did not see. There it is. Hey, I found the dot before I found the Ghost. Where the heck is the Ghost? Oh, here he is. Man alive, it's hard to see that dude. So this nuke's going to land and kill 0 things. Like, I don't think even any bushes were harmed by that nuke, as it turns out. The fact that these are the same color as the doodads and the critters here is really annoying stuff. Vultures trying to come up and deal with this, but there are tanks, and there are Archons and Dragoons, and these Vultures do not want to be part of this at all. They do pull back. Tank's still alive. He's got 5 kills for ire. Trying to come up the left side, and still there are just a ton of Dragoons here too. The Zealots are starting to get involved now. They've got legs. They're attacking on down, and what turned out to be, or what started as a Terran aggressive maneuver, turns into a counterattack from Mio that is absolutely insanely good right now. He's losing a ton of Zealots, but this is a, oh sure, this is a ton of tanks, but there are not any Vultures here. But I don't know that it really matters for Lefthand, as it turns out. I mean, Too many tanks. Your zealots are going to get whittled down eventually here. Finally, an Arbiter shows up, and cloaking his friendly tanks would be a pretty good move, and then using them to move up in range. He should do that. He should move the tanks in range and try to stay within the cloak and then attack there. But yeah, the fact that these Banglasses and these Rhynodons and these Ursidons are the same color as the blue that Lefthand is running means it's hard to find ghosts on the minimap. And I really... Oh, look, there's one now. I guess if they're moving with purpose, it indicates they're not a critter. He can't get through there, can he? Can he get through here? Looks like he can, based on that. He definitely can. Nukes!
Nuclear launch detected.
All right, man. You are close enough to this nuke. I think you're probably going to die from it. So let's see if you get any kills as this thing lands. Man, there was no pull at all. Goodbye, everyone. He doesn't get credit for kills. I always forget that. They just wiped out an entire mineral line. Ah! I was watching some Korean casting for StarCraft 2 the other day out on the GSL. Well, yeah, Global StarCraft League for StarCraft 2. And man, they yell a lot. They're like, ah! I'm going to start doing that when there are nukes happening. Ah! When there are attacks. It's like, I don't know. You don't really have to cast if you're just yelling. It's not really... I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. We're going to leave that alone for now. So the map is effectively cut in half. It has been for a while. We're going to mine this whole stupid thing out at this rate. And yeah, it's Mio's game to lose. He keeps bumping above that 200 mineral or 200 supply limit. It's at 220 right now. Lefthand's only at 158. Honestly, man, a transition into carriers would not be amiss. Like carrier... what am I trying to think here? Maybe carrier battlecruiser would be pretty interesting. Just brute forcing up this left side. Lefthand is coming in. And scans are making the Arbiter not nearly as effective as he wants to be. The Goliath count, a little bit high too. Arbiter does get wiped out. Tank's setting up on that low ground. I don't know where that ghost went. He survived his own nuke, and I'm not sure where he is now, but... Yeah, continuing to push up this left side. Mio's going to lose this base, and that is not good. In a situation where, again, you have it cut in half. You need all the resources you can get, because your opponent for sure is going to get all the resources they can get. Bit of a Dragoon attack on this right side. Just get cleaned up by a combination of tanks and SCVs. I think I heard a Wraith in here. I don't know, but the Zealots are just... Again, without Vultures defending, Zealots are pretty good at this. The Vultures come in late. There are some tanks down here. Mio is just throwing units into the Terran grindstone. Observers getting picked off there too. Tanks on the high ground. Another nuke.
Nuclear launch
Where
detected.
is it? Oh, this is it. Man, I'm doing better at this. Where the heck? Is he nuking his own stuff? Or is this Mio nuking? Where the heck is the ghost who's doing this? It was a defensive nuke. I'm pretty sure... I don't know. I don't know where that ghost is. I'm trying to find him. Right side base is technically alive, but getting shelled by tanks is not that good. Goliath versus tank, not fantastic. Mio flying around the right side here, and that tank already has 2 kills. This tank has 3. More Zealots reinforcing. This right side base is in trouble. I mean, technically, yes, Mio did manage to hang on to his 9 o'clock position Nexus, and now he might be able to take down the 3 o'clock position command center of Lefthands. There are some tanks here, but again, the Vulture count is not that high, and by that I mean there's 1. Defensive Matrix coming up on that tank. Got an engagement on the left side as Dragoon's trying to fight through some missile turrets there. Tank count is down to 1 now. Vultures do wander in, but they're not being microed all that particularly well. Another nuke detected. This guy. I'm catching all of the nukes. Oh, never mind. He's wiped out. So that nuke never happened. But yeah, right side. This is what we're talking about. Team Mio working together with his tank friends to take that command center down. And now it's Lefthand that is in trouble. Now, it is in fact Lefthand that's going to cause all the problems. It is Battle Cruiser. Oh, man. We got mind control. We get enemy tanks for against the Terran player in a PvT. We get carriers. We get battle cruisers. We get nukes. This replay pack never, ever, ever disappoints. Thank you, Lazaros, for being the one to send this in. This is just, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, battle cruisers. I said battle cruiser, didn't I? Lockdown being used here against this ghost. We get lockdown. I can't. This is too much StarCraft awesomeness. Ah, lockdown. Lockdown lasts about forever, turns out. All right, so the upgrades on the tanks are 2-3 versus 0-0. Mio has been absolutely neglecting the upgrades on his siege tanks, but Lefthand has not. He's been doing pretty well with them. He hasn't taken this right side base, but he is preventing Lefthand from mining from it, so that's really important as the third base is mined out. The fourth base, I can't remember which one the fourth base was, but that's happily mining. The mineral base is mining. Natural's done. Main is done. Lefthand has about 300 minerals on the bank. And that's not a good place to be at the 36-minute mark of a game. Economically, he's in trouble. Carrier capacity on the way. This might just turn into a situation where Lefthand is not quite prepared for the battle cruiser carrier group that shows up to wipe him out. But cloaked battle cruiser is not something you've seen since the final mission of the StarCraft 1 campaign, where you work together, right, with Terran and Protoss units to take down the Overmind. And you could do this. You could cloak battle cruisers. You could recall tanks into position. One of my favorite missions of all time in all video game history, honestly, for that particular reason. And now Mio is living it again. Indeed, he is. Nuke being produced again here. Not making a whole ton of nukes, but trying to use them to break the Terran setup, the Terran Protoss alliance here. Oh, this is so good. I've been trying to figure out what I want for my thumbnail. Is it nukes? Is it cloaked battle cruisers? Is it tank versus tank lines in a PvT? Is it the Dark Archon mind controlling the SCV? Defensive matrix on that tank really helps in this battle. Upgrades helped a lot too, but defensive matrix was a deal as well. Trying to throw up a command center over here. Hard to do with tanks on the low ground directly shelling it. Lefthand. Lefthand is trying to get that thing. Here come the battle cruisers, and here come the carriers with the cloak. Surprise! We're all here. Stasis field coming on in. What the heck is that Arbiter doing? It's dancing and getting wrecked. Oh, didn't get the recall off because it got killed by the Goliaths. There are more Goliaths here than I thought, as it turns out. No command center for you, Mio. Not going to happen. Are we going to actually run out of resources here? Sooner rather than later. I don't know. Where did the battle cruisers go? They pulled back. They pulled back. This is such a cool thing. This carrier battle cruiser setup is fantastic. All right, here it is.
Nuclear launch detected.
Another nuke attempted. Is it? It's got to be right here, doesn't it? Maybe along the left side. That's an Ursadon. Oh, it's right over here. Okay. Well, it did some stuff, and the ghost got wiped out, but not that big of a deal here. Oh, lockdown. Lockdown on the battle cruisers. Oh, my gosh. The ghosts are actually using lockdown in this scenario, and lockdown means you're vulnerable to hits. Another lockdown on the Arbiter this time. The Goliaths need to be hitting directly instead of going after interceptors. It would be a lot better here, as even with the lockdown, Team Mio is making this thing happen. And then actually chasing the blue Terran player away. Lefthand did pretty well there, but not good enough. And now you got to babysit your lockdown units because, again, it takes approximately forever for that lockdown to wear off. Just about 100% forever. Another Ghost tries to wander up. Nope. Detection is available. Vultures charging up the ramp. There aren't that many tanks here, they say. We can take this all down. Yeah, so the left side is out. Goodbye, Nexus at the 9 o'clock position. Just absolutely bum rushed by Vultures and tanks here. Army's a little bit too slow to respond just because they are slow. Battlecruisers and carriers trying to come on over. You know what? There are no Goliaths here, so this is... Oh, Goliaths are showing up now, though. Are they going to get here in time is the question. Carrier group does not seem quite big enough to deal with this. The Ghosts have enough energy for lock... They sure do. They sure do have enough energy for lockdown. Falcon Paladin fans. Free tanks here on the low ground. They get wiped out, but this carrier is done for. Goodbye, carrier. Love that sound, by the way. The sound of dead carriers is one of my favorites in all of Brood War. Working on upgrading ship weapons for battle cruisers here out of Mio. I am loving this right now. Just continuing to make nothing but battle cruisers and carriers. Nothing but Goliaths here from Lefthand, recognizing what's going on here. Captain Lefthand. I think that's what that CT stands for. Mio is going to take the 3 o'clock base. Going to land a command center there anyway. Carrier, yeah, I was going to say, where do those Goliaths go? You're going to lose some tanks if you're not careful. Goliaths chasing the Sky Terran Protoss army away. Is he sacrificing probes to free up supply? I don't know why else he'd be wandering across the middle. I guess he's probe transferring, but it's a little scary to do so, don't you think? I guess you could survive. There is enough defensive stuff here to keep you alive here. But yeah, 208 to 118 supply. I mean, right now, Mio is doubling up the supply of his opponent. The thing is, Ghost River production lockdown is the kind of the perfect answer to what we're seeing here from these carriers and these battle cruisers. Another nuke attempt. Blue. Blue? 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 Gotta be here. Oh, it is here. Alright. Wow, that was a good nuke. The probes got pulled, but all the tanks were done, and this Ghost making it happen for Lefthand. If Lefthand can win this thing, despite the fact that he has a severe disability, severe disadvantage, not a disability, just a severe disadvantage, in that he's not able to get as much supply as his opponent is, I'm going to be extremely impressed. And that nuke might have been the start of it. Might have been the start of the comeback here. Observer movement coming in, additional arbiters, making some more SCVs. And yeah, I mean, Mio's up about 60 supply. 70 supply around there, 65-ish, if my math is correct. And I'm not saying it is, because it rarely is, but you know what I mean here. Carriers cruising up from the bottom right to the top left. And look at this. These battle cruisers are ready to rock, man. This lockdown, though, is problematic. Is there enough lockdown, though? I don't know if there are enough ghosts is the thing. You just effectively halved the army, but you have enough to actually make this happen. Goliaths wandering on up. Battle cruisers doing some serious damage here, too. Again, as the Goliaths are now starting to attack the bodies of these carriers. They're going to get one here. Can they get an... Oh, maybe not. They're going after the battle cruisers instead. How interesting. And as a matter of fact, they didn't get either one. Oh, This battlecruiser has 6 HP. This carrier has 34 HP. Suddenly, I feel like all of the Goliaths are gone. Full retreat from this left side. Right side base has been established for Mio. And I think that might be it. That might be it here for Team Lefthand. And by that I mean he's just a single guy fighting on his own against an unfair combination of Protoss and Terran. Yeah, Mio's not interested in pushing in right now. He doesn't care. He's like, you know what? He hasn't really made a serious attack on anything since he's attacked the right side. That 3 o'clock position for Lefthand, but he's coming on in now. He feels pretty confident that the Goliath count is not that high, and he's right. There's only 3. He actually stasised what? I'm not sure what he stasised, but he caught one of his own interceptors there for some reason. Dark Templar and battlecruisers in production for Mio. Again, just the sheer amount of fun here is extremely fun. Science Vessel gets wiped out immediately. No detection for you at all. And now this just comes down to invisible. Yeah, invisible army here wrecking your stuff. You can kind of see the shimmer. You can see the interceptors. They're not cloaked. Suppose not. This is kind of weird to see it from Lefthand's perspective, though. Just the shimmering.
Nuclear launch detected.
Another nuke attempt here. I keep thinking there's one up. Oh, there is one up here. Oh, he is nuking this base. Hey! Yeah, I keep thinking there's one, and of course there is. The successful nukes in this game, what is that, 5? Unfortunately, sacrificial there, as it turns out. Kind of catching a glimpse of the carriers, seeing the battle cruisers cruising on up through here. A free ghost kill, 194 to 69 at supply. Mio is up. He wiped out that left-hand base. I think that was the only source of gas income for the Terran player. I mean, he still get gas from depleted refineries, but it's not much. But it's better than nothing, as it turns out. Ghost tries to come up this right side and destroy things, but nope, that's not going to happen at all. This is kind of fun. I kind of like seeing this from Lefthand's perspective. Just like carriers showing up. I don't know where the battle cruisers are. Neither does Lefthand. They're just hanging back here with their 3 arbiters that are part of the play right now. 194 supply out of 284 potential supply. Lefthand he's on his back foot. Mio is just being extremely careful with lockdown on the map. He doesn't want to move in there and have lockdown wiped out his entire army. And then suddenly Lefthand wins. That'd be an incredible reversal. It'd be difficult, but I think he could pull it off. Another Dark Archon getting birthed here. What the heck is your plan? What are you trying to do, buddy? Maybe feedback on the ghosts. That seems like a pretty good thing to do, but you don't have enough energy for like that many feedbacks on several ghosts. Might be enough just to get 1 though, I guess. There are 3 ghosts here and 1 less thing to get locked down, I suppose. Suppose is how that works. Hey, there it is. Feedback on a ghost, and he escaped with his life, too. Nicely done, Dark Archon. Well played, friend. Long distance mining along the left side here. Have to go through their own pylon wall to get there. It's a little bit hilarious. Single vulture standing in the face of a giant carrier fleet coming down upon him. Yeah, man, the battlecruiser fleet is bigger than I expected it would be. There are 6 of them here. 6 battlecruisers and 5 carriers and 3 arbiters. That's our play. That is what we're dealing with right now for Mio. Once again, battlecruisers coming out of the mist. There's your cloak, and suddenly all you can attack are interceptors. And suddenly you're in a massive amount of trouble. Stasis catching a bunch of your dudes here, including some interceptors. Left side base gonna die again to this invisible fleet that keeps out kicking their coverage a little bit. Stasis also lasts forever, but yeah, that command center is done. And Lefthand has about 93 minerals in his bank right now. It's not good at all. I just don't know what he can do. Trying to bring... This is a ton of ghosts, surprisingly. Get some lockdown maybe on... BSD leaves. No, he says something in Korean, I guess. Lockdown on one of the Archons. And there's your good game. Mio gets the win. Lefthand taps out at 49 minutes and 58 seconds. Incredible. Incredible play there from Mio, making it happen. And yeah, we got the dream. We got the dream of the Protoss Terran army, the carrier battlecruiser fleet that Lefthand just couldn't handle. He couldn't deal with it. Lost the right side base. Lost his left side base. Did wipe out the 9 o'clock position, but couldn't establish anything of his own there. And yeah, he just didn't have enough left on the ground to compete here. Some ghosts, some tanks. And sure, the ghosts were scary. They really kept Mio at bay for quite some time, but it didn't matter. In the end, Mio was going to win that game. Left-handed knew it, and he tapped out. A gentleman's leaving. Yeah, tons of fun. He's going for Yamato too here. Yamato gun. That would have been pretty good if he'd gotten that earlier, I think. Maybe Yamato down the ghosts from distance would have been interesting. Science vessels, Goliaths, maybe missile turrets. A lot of targets for that. Final score, as we're at the 50-minute mark. 268,000 points for Lefthand, 296 for Mio. Units produced actually is more for Lefthand, despite the fact that Mio had 2 races to work from. Both players lost about 300, 400 units. And killed those, obviously, too. Structures race, 32 by Mio to only 13 by Lefthand. He wasn't really able to get in here and really cause much problems for Mio's production facilities. Despite dropping that main several times, he just couldn't get the damage done. Gas mined, how many more? 4,000 more here for Mio. Minerals mined, like a full, 15,000 there for Mio, and more spent. Another about 15,000, 16,000 more spent for Mio. So resources definitely saving the day for the Protoss player. He gets the win, and Protoss is victorious in this very fun, very weird PvT from the Gosu Gamers replay pack. All right, good stuff. Well, you know what? That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.